Hey guys, it's Grant with Angling Authority, and I'm here at ICAST 2014, and I have a very interesting rat. It's a
the BBZ-1 rat, and it basically is from the line that we do through Spro. Is I built a bunch of swim baits through the last few years, and they wanted something different. So I've had some stuff in the box for many years, and a couple years ago they said, let's see one of your something that will be different than most people will ever think about. And I said, I got a rat for you. And they're like, a rat? And I go, rat. And they go, what is it going to do different than anything else? The cool thing about it is, in fishing, when you look at techniques, that's the key. If you use a topwater like a spook, that walk the dog is a great technique and it catches a lot of fish. Wake bait fish, that technique catches a lot of fish. I built both of them in one bait. So this is a topwater bait. It's 10 inches overall length, but the body itself is 5 1/4. So I based it off like a super spook body. So everybody throws it, everybody knows they catch fish on it around the world. In doing that, when we did the plastic body, because I wanted a bill that was incorporated with it, old school wood plugs, the bills would fall out. The bill's not going to fall out, but I couldn't get the sound, the density, the flotation like a wood plug. I went home and I filled it with foam. So the cool thing about it is now I have a wood bait basically encapsulated with a plastic shell. So the whole dynamic of the bait changed. It wakes beautifully at a slow speed to a fast speed. At a really quick speed with a low rod tip, it'll dive 6 inches to a foot down underwater. But the beauty of it is when you stop it, you could walk it with a low rod tip or high rod tip. It walks the dog better than a spook. It'll do 180-degree turns. So you could wake it from a fish. If a fish is following it, you could stop it and you could pop it. The thing will actually turn back around itself and fish the other way. So the techniques built in this bait is phenomenal. The other cool thing about spooks, which you've probably thrown a lot of them, they foul hook a lot on the front hook. With 18-pound mono, maximum mono that I was using, 100 hours on this, I foul hooked 0 times because the bill protected the mono. The braid foul hooked a few more other times, but it was nothing compared to a regular spook. Double split rings on the front, which drops the hook down. It's still protected by the bill when you're swimming it up and over stuff, but when a fish hits it, the bite on that is all open. So the hookup ratio on this bait is very high. We went to a patent pending tail design that I came up with. Is a 8-section ABS plastic tail with an 80-pound braid core. So it acts exactly like a rat tail. It's not buoyant. The rat tails are they're heavy, they float in the water, but when they start kicking, the tail just goes all over the place. I got the same action as a true rat tail in this, but the really key is, besides it coming with 2 tails in a package, is if you want to put a plastic worm on it, it's put in by just a single toothpick. You pull the toothpick out, you can put any 6-inch plastic worm in there that you like. You push the plastic worm in, you take a toothpick, you smash it through the plastic worm, and you're ready to go. And then if you want to bring back your original tail, you just pull it out, you put the alignment holes in there, and you put the toothpick back in, and you're ready to rock and roll. So, very versatile bait, a lot of techniques built into it. It weighs 2.5 ounces. So you can throw it on basically a flipping stick or a bigger rod if you like. And the amount of fish catches, you can see that's a brand new bait. This bait, 200 hours. This is the prototype, 200 hours, hundreds of fish caught. Cut it off the line. I brought it here just so people could see that it just keeps catching fish. I mean, there's proof in the pudding there. And I got a lot of video up on my webpage, the BBZ.com, that shows this bait working in the water and the fish catches.
Now, just bass?
No.
So what have you been catching with this?
Basically, I went with the concept for topwater. What can you catch with the topwater spook?
Anything.
Anything. This technique of walking bait, redfish, snook, striper, bass, big monster trout, lake trout,
pike, muskie.
They're gonna tear this up. Yeah. If guys throw topwater for pike or muskie, this morning dawn color and the chartreuse tail, I would just say hold on, because they're gonna crush it. If you're worried about what I did on the tail is I try to make the joints deep enough for muskies so the hooks wouldn't get down and cut the line. But if you guys are worried about it, pull the toothpick out, put a plastic worm in there, and just change tails every time you catch a fish, and you're going to catch quite a few of them.
How many colors does this come in?
5 colors. We got a black and red, like a gray ghost. It's a gray rat. We got a brown rat, a white rat, and then we have the morning dawn. So I'm covering from clear water to dark water, the whole color scheme right off the bat.
And just to be clear, you've been throwing this on 20-pound?
This one, I did the prototypes on 2 lines. I did 18-pound Maxima Ultra Green Mono.
Okay.
So that's the minimum I suggest. You guys can do whatever you want, but that's what I suggest. The braid I went was a 50-pound braid from Maxima, and those 2 lines I had 0 failure in all the fish catches. I had a couple hundred fish catches in 200 hours. So that would be the minimum. If you did muskie, I'd say at least 65 or more with the braid.
Yep.
The biggest thing on that, the heavier the braid, the heavier the line. You have 1/0 2x strong hooks. Back off the drag a little bit because you're pulling them in with the 2x4. That would be the weak link on that.
Absolutely.
But if you want to beef it up, the nice thing is you could put 4x strong hooks on this.
Yeah.
The bill is going to make the bait swim. So you're not going to have that much of adjustment by changing things. So that's this bait is, I'm telling you, I'm pretty excited. It's pretty awesome. And people make fun of my hat, but I'm telling you, it's getting the point across that it's something new in the industry, and a lot of people haven't been able to build a bait with that many techniques built into it.
Next question. This is probably, for bass applications, this is probably a big fish bait. This is a big bass bait.
No.
Or you can catch small bass?
Small bass. This is a big fish bait. Any topwater bait, when you look at a technique, a walking dog technique catches big fish. That walking just pisses them off and they come at me. It doesn't matter if it's a big muskie, pike, bass, you name it. That's built into it. The crazy thing about it, the size and everything else, is when I went and did my testing with this bait, if you go to the BBZ.com and you watch the footage of the fish catches, I'm catching smallmouth bass that are 11 inches long.
They're still hitting this bait.
They're not only hit it, they're eating it. Like I'm catching 1 and 2 pounders on our lakes that are super clear in the middle of the day to prove a point, going behind guys throwing spooks and whacking them on this, and they're 1, 2, 3 pounders, you know, and they catch them up to 7, 8 pounds and 10 pounds. But like I said, I wouldn't be afraid to throw this anywhere in the U.S.
So there you go, guys. Anyone has reservations that it's too big, it's not too big, because you know bass will eat almost anything, right?
Well, and they'll strike at almost anything,
right,
if you have the right techniques. If it wakes good and it walks good, they're going to come up and blast it. The nice thing about this is they're blasting it. So if you want to go out there and catch a 10-pound limit in a tournament, you're going to catch 5 2-pounders. If there is 4 and 5 pounders there, they're going to truly eat this because you're not separating the size. I mean, it's not like throwing swim baits back in the day where you're only looking for 10 pounders. This bait's catching things across the board, everything.
That's awesome. There you have it, guys.
AnglingAuthority.com. Make sure you come up and we'll do some more videos later on in the year, and make sure you guys get the latest information over there.
Check it out.